Welcome back to the channel. As we cross into 2024, I really wanted to take a look at the current worst stadiums in the NFL, the worst places to play, the worst stadium atmospheres. And there's three that really came in mind for me going into this as the first one that I'm going through on this list, they've already made plans for a new stadium. But for the other two, there's really nothing in the works so far. So I wanted to just take a quick look at the worst stadiums of 2024. And the first one I'm going to bring up is Highmark Stadium, home of the Buffalo Bills. And this is a stadium that's been around since 1973, a really old stadium. If you look at it, there's not much to it at all, not really an arena district at all around it. Really just not a lot to it. Probably one of the least designed stadiums in the NFL. Just not really the best place to play. Home of the Bills. Obviously, they do have plans for the stadium renovation that should go down. Well, no, not stadium renovation, brand new stadium that should be complete around 2026. It's going to be a $1.5 billion investment. But they definitely had to make us change at stadium. If you look at it, Highmark Stadium is just not it. Not a lot to it. Looks like an old college football, a mid-tier college football stadium. Just not a lot to it at all. And that's why it's one of the worst NFL stadiums currently. The next stadium that we have is Bank of America Stadium, home of the Carolina Panthers. And there's just not a lot to this stadium. Probably the most basic design in the NFL. It was built in 1996, but I think they just did a really poor job because there's just not a lot to it. Obviously, there's no plans to do anything with it, but you can tell from looking at this stadium, there's just not much to it. There's not much point to it being, that good of a stadium in the NFL. It's just really bland all the way around. I think they, in 1996, they had an option to just put in a better stadium, a better overall design. They failed on this drastically, in my opinion. And that's why, as well, it's just one of the worst stadiums in the NFL. A lot of rankings don't have it as low. I think like one of them I was looking at was like the 22nd or something like that, which I think is pretty ridiculous. If you look at this stadium, you can kind of tell that it is not the best stadium. And, like I said, no plans to do anything at this point. And then the universally known worst stadium in the NFL today, one that on every list will be that 30th ranked stadium, the last stadium. It is FedEx Field, home of the Washington Commanders since 1997. And it's just not the stadium that they were hoping it would be. I've seen videos of people going to the stadium. It's got really poor conditions. People have complained about it. It's not in a good state right now. Apparently, it's breaking down. The only good news for the Commanders is with that new ownership group, most likely they should look to build a new stadium. There's no expanding on this stadium. They need to start fresh. I think that Josh Harris, the new owner, will definitely make a move to get a new stadium. I think this is a near guarantee, which is really good for the future of them. But if you just look at this stadium from the pictures here, it is just not it. So what they need to do is they definitely need to do a renovation. There have been some renderings of different stadiums, but no official announcement yet. But this is by far the worst stadium in the NFL. Highmark Stadium and Bank of America Stadium are also really bad, but this one definitely does take the cake as the worst of 2024.